Welcome all to AHOBI the Rott&Pot podcast. Have you been in or known anybody who has been in an inhabited forested area then receive a wildfire alert to be alert to leave within 3 days? Well, that's what happens when you know that things are around you and like fires, and you have to be really calm and start packing your stuff and thinking about everything. Announcements over cell phones and TVs describing the devastating wildfires burning near your hometown or city and threatening the way out to safety. Our subject topic today is the difference between the 2016 and 2024 wildfires. Threatening Fort McMurray, Alberta, of which I lived through both of them. They were very different. We were in different situations, and as you can tell, I'm here within the 1978 camper that we have in our backyard. The W5s in 2016. The what is the wildfire of 2016, which did considerable damage to Fort McMurray. The why is possibly man-made and attributed to various trails for ATVs. Now, there are other causes, of course, like lightning or other means of combustion, but we seem to like to blame men. The who is my wife and I, and at the time, our basset hound and cat. My wife was in one truck with the basset hound, and I was in the other with the cat. Both were filled with our survival equipment and everything else to be away from home for a long time. And it was a long time. The when was in early May of 2016 when the fire was threatening our home, and we evacuated at around 6 p.m. The where is our home located in the neighborhood of Thickwood in Fort McMurray, which is north of the Athabasca River, which is important to know because anything south, we have a barrier. I was at work that day and was sent home, arriving here around 2 p.m. I started filling up the pickup with our supplies as my wife was getting all of our requirements within the home out that we were going to take with us. My neighbors were outside talking to each other, discussing possible exit routes and possible scenarios and what needed to be get ready. Now that made camaraderie happen. We could help each other out. We understood. We worked as a team to find a route out of here. At around 5 p.m., the RCMP came to advise us that we were only allowed to go north of Fort McMurray to evacuate. We are a destination. There is nothing north of us, and the wildfire is partially blocking our southern and only exit from the city. At around 6, we all left as neighbors and made a pact to all head south. We were lucky the RCMP allowed us to continue as we found out why it was scary to drive south to get out when both sides of the roads are on fire, along with many vehicles beside both sides abandoned with blown tires. Just sitting there. Can't do nothing. Doesn't matter how expensive it was. just sat there and burned. Once past the city and any of the fire, your only limitation was the fuel you had in your vehicles. Both our vehicles were filled up, therefore, we were able to go to the next large refilling station 3.5 hours away, and that was Grasslands. That is like the saving grace because it was a truck stop, so there was lots of fuel, lots of room around to wait it out and relax a bit. The W5s for 2024. The what is a wildfire that was south of the city, south of the landfill, that would be 5.5 kilometers south of it, and also 4.5 kilometers away from the intersection of 63 and 881. That's our way out south of Fort McMurray. Remember, we're just a destination here. Shut up, Winnie. There's the Rutty. The where is our home located in the neighborhood of Thickwood in Fort McMurray, which is north of the Athabasca. So this fire was south. We weren't affected, but had it hit the land dump, those toxic fumes would have just really done us a number. We wouldn't have had a chance to get out. The why is possible man-made and attributed to various trails for ATVs. Temperatures outside, along with the relative humidity and any previous snowfall accumulations, are all factors to enhance a wildfire. So it's not just humans, it's a lot of what happened before they got on the trails. The when was in early May of 2024 when a wildfire out of control was threatening Fort McMurray along with the way out and evacuated some inhabitants, but not us. So that would be just the ones to the south in subdivisions that are isolated. The who is my wife and I, and at the time our Roddy. My wife has her driver's license, but will not be able to drive. I no longer have a driver's license based on the disease called glaucoma, which has damaged both my eyes. The need did not occur, but the plan was to be put on a bus along with our supplies and our dog to be taken away to wherever center they have for evacuees. So quite a bit different, and I'm glad it didn't happen. I was at home that day and started filling up the packs we needed for the 3-day supply and also all of the dog's requirements. My wife made sure to assemble all needed ID and also any important documents and medication. Although we were warned many times to be ready, we never did leave. My neighbors were never outside talking to each other. All around, they just did their own thing, figuring they've gone through this before and don't need to worry about anybody else. This time it was like a ghost neighborhood. Nobody knew where anybody was or when they were gonna try to sneak out in case the fire got worse. And that's the biggest difference. Maybe we're more resilient to fires now. I guess, I don't know. Hoping you've learned a bit about the differences between the 2016 fire and the 2024 wildfires in Fort McMurray, Alberta. Thank you for your thoughts and prayers. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.